Surviving infidelity, going to tell my wife I want a divorce today. Working up the nerve. We got married about 3 years ago. A few months after our wedding, I found out she was cheating on me. I was so hurt and angry, but after discussing it, I decided we could try to make things work and I could work on my communication and to be the kind of husband she wouldn't cheat on again. About a year later, I left for active duty orders for about 7 months. I came to her sleeping with and messaging "I love you" to another man on her phone. I left that night, and knew I wanted to leave. I was still in love, so I ended up foolishly coming back to try again. Somehow, I found out that she's been in touch with the same man again through a music app. They communicate by changing the names of playlists with no songs in them, to say what they want to say. It's been killing me to act normal while watching the playlist names change. Last night was the worst, but at least I know for sure the extent of her cheating. She has said she loves him and want to love all over him, and she stated something about sleeping with him. I was a fool to believe that it was only emotional cheating. I guess I just wanted to believe things could still work out. She is the only person I've been with. Almost 11 years, since I was 18. The only person that's ever shown interest in me. So my self-esteem is at an all-time low. I know I'm not very good at communicating, but I was trying to work on it and still will. I think I treated her well still. I kept our home clean and in order. Went on nice vacations, always stopped what I was doing to greet her when she came home from work since I work from home. I feel lost and I suppose I'm just typing this up to get it out since I don't really have anyone to talk to. When she comes home today, I am going to tell her I need a divorce and I refuse to spend another day of my life with someone who loves another man. I don't think I did anything to deserve this. Now for the top advice before reading the update. She is communicating through playlists on a music app? WTF. That is next level sneakiness. Which only demonstrates that 1, she doesn't want to get caught, and 2, doesn't want to lose the sweet deal she's got, having her cake and eating it too. If I may offer this advice, do not tell her you want a divorce today, or ever. She'll only change tactics on you to keep you around and be able to cover up her cheating even more. Get your exit plan in order, like finding where to live, get divorce papers completed and then serve them up to her when you are in a position of strength. If your reserves or AD as you alluded to, base/command legal can help get you started and pointed in the right direction, you deserve better. OP, this is the best course. It may be the one that hurts the most in the short term, keeping this bottled up, but it will likely yield the best result. She will be blindsided before she can come up with a plan. See if you can get screenshots of the back and forth with a fair partner, it may help in the divorce. She is a turd and there is no reason to give her any heads up. The kind of husband she wouldn't cheat on? Dude, you're not a perfect husband. There's no such thing, but the decision to have an affair with someone when you've promised to be faithful to another, is an act of treachery and betrayal. Don't ever think you can control someone else's behavior. All you can do is have boundaries and enforce them. This is a common reaction from guys who get cheated on, as I went through the initial mind screw as well thanks to my ex-wife's gaslighting. It's where they successfully make you think their cheating is some failure on your part, like you drove them to it. You think this way with the BS victim blaming books and religious advice given. Once you break away from that and get smart, you see through the lies. You are worth so much more than to be treated this way. Please go to a doctor and get tested for STDs. Part of the pain is knowing that not only did you do nothing to deserve it, but you did not factor into the equation at all. In the compartmentalized parallel reality of the affair, you do not exist, at least not as her spouse. When the divorce papers are sitting in her hand to be signed, that fantasy world will pop like a bubble. Update, she came home from work. I told her we need to get divorced, and she immediately started yelling at me that all I care about is film stuff, I want to make short films, and going on hiking trips. We traveled a lot, but she never wanted to do certain hiking trips that I do. She is really good at making me feel bad. I told her maybe if she never cheated on me in the first place, I would have been able to work harder to fix things. She packed some stuff, and I left after telling her that she doesn't get to do this to me, and she said she is allowed to love more than one person. I left until she was gone, and now I am home alone trying to feel better and think what to do next. Thank you all for the support. It's been really nice to see. Now for the next story. Inconvenient truth about infidelity. My credentials: male 54, married for 24 years to female 47, who had affair with her yoga instructor. 2 children, female 21 and male 18. Suspicion, investigation, exposure and aftermath follow the classic pattern: he's just a friend, you're paranoid/jealous, concealment, gaslighting, blame shifting, revisionist marital history, forgiveness, tentative reconciliation, multiple D-days, separation, individual counseling and pending divorce. The only steps we skipped were, 1. I didn't insist on full disclosure of everything they didn't see that information as very useful, and 2. We communicated so well and extensively after exposure, that we didn't see any benefit to marriage counseling. So what's the inconvenient truth? Every relationship ends. Yep, every single one. Your relationship will end via either of two possible routes: A. The death of you or your partner, or B. You and or your partner decides to voluntarily terminate the relationship. If you did not want the relationship to end, you will find termination of the relationship to be very disturbing, emotionally difficult and life-altering. This will be the case whether your partner died, cheated on you, abused you, fell out of love with you, or simply decided, for whatever reason, she or he no longer wishes to remain in a romantic relationship with you. Trust me, if you did not want your relationship to end, you won't feel better if your partner informs you he or she no longer wants to remain in the relationship with you, rather than engages in an affair. You may have more personal respect for a former partner who did not cheat, but that won't make the end of the relationship more emotionally palatable if you didn't want it to end. You still will, and should, mourn the end of the relationship. So what's the significance of infidelity? Nothing more than an inflection point, at which one or both of the partners must decide whether the relationship should end or not. For the cheater, the infidelity may be an exit affair, or not. For the betrayed, the infidelity may be a deal breaker, or not. In any case, the affair presents a decision point at which each partner should answer the following question: do I want this relationship to end or to continue? In the latter case, it's technically not possible for the relationship to continue. Rather, the decision is whether to start a new relationship with your partner after all you've both learned about the relationship and each other from the affair. Too often, far too much attention is paid to the infidelity. What happened? How did it happen? Why did it happen? What does it mean? The consumption of all this emotional and intellectual energy detracts from thoughtfully answering the true question: will it be better for me if this relationship ends now? Or if I enter into a new relationship with my partner? The path forward is always the same: acceptance. You must accept what happened. You must accept where you now are as a consequence of what happened. You must accept that your future happiness will depend upon the decisions you make, rather than what your partner did or what happened in the past. True, but it's much more polite, dignified and respectful to end the relationship with someone you once claimed to truly love, forever and ever, with a divorce rather than sneaking around behind their back, exposing you to STDs, lies, deceit, unnecessary trauma, humiliation, possible financial infidelity and public ridicule. If you, for some reason, fall out of love, then end it as humanely as possible. You're the one who messed up and said "I'd do" and forever and always, when actually, you weren't really sure if you were in marital forever true love. If you screwed up, lied to yourself, didn't do your due diligence before committing to lifelong marriage, wasting your spouse's time, and realized down the road that you never should have gotten married, then divorce humanely. Don't psychologically gore and then divorce rip your spouse as many cheaters does with their warped sense of entitlement. As for betrayed spouses, yes, look at cheating as one of the inevitable ends of a relationship. The relationship, as you knew it, is over. Done. Humans are unpredictable and humans change. Just move on to a new chapter and only look back on the good memories. That's what I meant about having more respect for your former, faithful, partner. Trust me, if you did not want your relationship to end, you won't feel better if your partner informs you he or she no longer wants to remain in the relationship with you, rather than engages in an affair. Nah. Disagree from me. I have exes from my past who didn't cheat, and it didn't harm me anywhere near as bad. Those girls had the decency to let me keep my dignity, and I still have respect for them as people I once loved. If they called me up and needed my help, I would not hesitate to help them, and I wouldn't expect much in return. I genuinely hope they have good lives even if I'm not a part of it. I don't ruminate over that stuff. Meanwhile, I would genuinely feel better if my cheating exes all died. For me it's not the same. Thanks for your post. I needed to hear that. But that's not to say I'm happy for anyone who is here, going through horrible things. It hurts very bad when you are a loyal, loving spouse wanting a relationship, but sadly forced to leave the relationship, going through the trauma and finally accepting your fate. Wish I could get over it and accept my fate, but still it is not easy. I'm saving this post. It's so unfair that the betrayed spouses and innocent children have to suffer so much, which they don't deserve. Damn this infidelity. Damn the cheaters with their affair partners. Google radical acceptance and practice what you learn. It helped me turn the corner. I'll bet it will help you too. Now for the last story. Everything he is telling you, dear affair partner, he has said before, only back then there was no proof it was a lie. My ex left me for a coworker he had an emotional affair with for like 2 months. It has been a while now and I am doing okay. I do get stuck on some things. Like him pretending affair partner is the best thing ever, the love of his life. I know it is cheater MO, but I want to have the truth out in the void that is Reddit so I won't forget. I was triggered by my ex-sister-in-law. She told me that for all I know, affair partner and my ex have a better connection and compatibility than we did. I don't know why she thought that was a comforting thing to say. I just silently decided in that moment I don't want her in my life anymore. She left her husband for another man a few years back, only to go back to him and claim to be happily married, but had some emotional affairs along the way, so she is the worst friend to have, and she is out. It struck me that everything he is saying about her and to her, although that last one is more an assumption, he said to her about me. 13 years ago, he introduced me to his parents. They fell in love with me right away. His dad and I had an instant connection, and I was very close with him. He cried his eyeballs out when all the news broke. His mom proudly proclaimed, "I always knew that the first girl my son brings home, is going to be his true love." She told me how I changed him for the better. From a gloomy closed-off person to a more open and happy person. His brothers and sisters told me that he lighted up, bloomed, and I improved their connection with him, facilitating conversation and making him feel safe to open up to them. He told me all his deepest and darkest thoughts and fears. I supported him. Made him go out of his comfort zone. He called me his best friend, his everything. He said he kept all my love letters because he would never let me forget how much I loved him, and I could never leave him. I promised him I never would and I meant it. Life happened but he never neglected to tell me how much he loved me. How we were perfect for each other. Our personalities were different in all the right ways. I also felt like our strengths covered each other's weaknesses. We would have intimacy, and he would tell me that our bodies were made for each other. Soulmates, forever, him and me. Even the weeks before D-Day, I would wake up with him watching me sleep. Looking lovingly into my eyes and telling me I'm cute, that he loved me, that I made him happy. He couldn't believe we were husband and wife. He proudly proclaimed we would make it through anything. Half a year before this happened to me, his older brother was left by his wife of 25 years for an ex she had when she was like 17. She proclaimed how that ex was the love of her life and my brother-in-law was terrible. She never loved him and she was unhappy for years. We discussed it and my ex said she was delusional, weak, stupid. And 6 months later he does the exact same thing. I imagine him looking to her lovingly, telling her she is the one. She is perfect in every way, and he asks her to never leave him. How they are made for each other. She will gobble it up, but I wonder if it ever pops in her mind that he told me everything before. He made these promises and he did not keep them. She knows exactly how little it took to take him away. It will forever baffle me that a person wants a married man. You are helping him break vows you want to keep to you? You really think you are that special? Probably he can redo our relationship with her. As long as no other sad little person comes for him, he will play the same show with her. 10 years, who knows, maybe until the end of his life. People will forget me, they will forget how wonderful the beginning was. They will start to believe that affair partner and my ex were the better connection, meant to be, true love, yada yada. I will never forget how he felt all that for me and threw it away. I did not have proof he was a liar, or incapable to truly and deeply love. She however had all the proof she needs. She chose to ignore it. Maybe one day she will pay the price, maybe she can live the lie until they die. The fact is, she had proof it is a lie, I did not. For those of you who think that maybe I am petty and affair partner is the best thing ever and I just have to let my ex be happy with a better connection, I like to say this, better murdered great. There is always better or something that looks better from the outside. I have no illusions that there are men out there I could be just as happy with. The fact is, we chose each other. When you do that, you work to make that person the best connection, you stop looking for others and you do all you can to keep that flame alive. He threw a bucket of ice water over our fire and gasoline on their spark, and is now pretending we never had a bonfire. Now for the comments. When my ex said it was true love and meant to be, I asked him what would have happened if he hadn't met her. Would we still be together or would another true love stumble into his path? He didn't have an answer. I got the answer because the true love partner lasted less than a year. He's still out there looking for the next one. So, it wasn't me, it was an endless quest to fill an endless hole. If the new attachment was genuine and lasted, that's reasonable. But some people are always on the lookout for the next best thing, and partners and family suffer because of it. Maybe it takes months or maybe years, but at some point, they spot the greener grass and go for it. I wonder how this will play out. My gut says he is trying to fill an ever-growing void. Mine literally said, I could have stayed with you for the rest of my life and it would have been a happy life, but I deserve something more special. He told me variations on this story, but it all boiled down to, nothing is ever enough. I am convinced she isn't enough because I met her. He was trying to make us friends. She is shallow and boring. Her humor is limited and childish. She is not the magical creature that will make him happy. However, I fear he can't be alone and will hold on to her as he did to me, until some other sad little girl comes along. In my case, it took 13 years, so who knows? Happy you are out, dearie. May he keep on filling the void and may your hearth be full. In my opinion, the affair partner is always a downgrade because they normally know the person is already engaged with someone, but they chose to do everything in their power to destroy the couple. Even if your BF or GF is flirting or whatever with them, a mature and decent human being will think and say, look, this is not okay, you should sort things out with your significant other first. Not putting all the blame on the affair partner. Your ex is the one who cheated on you, but you get my point. So, you'll always be above a cheater and a person who encourages cheating. And of course, your ex will do everything in their power to show that he is happy. He has to show that cheating on you is worth it, huh? But he knows what he has done, and unless he's a narc or psychopath, I'm sure he feels bad, but he hides in his monkey branching relationship. I started to believe he is a covert narc. I agree, a significant other has the final responsibility. But there is something wrong with a person who flirts and hunts a married man. I have seen some of her efforts and she was going for it hard. In my dating life, I have been in a situation that after some chatting and flirting, a guy told me he was married. He said he was so unhappy and I was so different from his wife, so much better. I just felt how sad it is. Because if you enter this type of dynamic, it will always be about how you differ from the wife, not about who you are. I blocked the guy right away, but I had a flash forward about how it would play out. The discussions would all be about her, how bad she is, when he will leave her, yada yada. I did not want to be part of anything of the sort, and it just showed me again how pathetic she really is. And that's it for this video, guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day, everyone.